Good day, friends. CEV welcomes you for watching this video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe our registered valuers club for getting all new professional video update. In this video, we will discuss about highest and best use in appraisal. So we will try to understand what is highest and best use in real estate appraisal and how it is to be determined. And then we will take an example that will make the things clear to you. So first we will discuss what is highest and best use. Highest and best use is a fundamental concept in the real estate appraisal. It refers to the most reasonable, probable, and legal use of that is physically possible, appropriately supported, financially feasible, and results in the highest value. So, see here, what is highest and best use? It is the most reasonable and probable and legal use of a property that is physically possible. These are the four things which are important: physically possible, appropriately supported, financially feasible, and results in the highest value. That use which results in the highest value, that is called highest and best use. And how it is determined, we will discuss, because the determination of highest and best use is crucial for appraising vacant land or properties with potential or redevelopment. So this presentation will explore the definition of highest and best use, its importance in property valuation, and the four essential tests appraisers use to determine the optimal use of a property. Understanding these principles is vital for anyone involved in the real estate investment, development, or appraisal. So, what is the definition of highest and best use? So now we will define what is highest and best use. So that use which is physically possible, legally permissible, and economically feasible, that is called highest and best use. Physically possible means the potential use must conform to the property size, topography, shape, and physical characteristics. For example, you can build a marina the desert. Legally permissible means the use must not be forbidden by zoning or government regulations, deed restrictions, or other convents. Building codes and highest limits must be adhered to. And third thing, economically feasible means the use must generate the best return without overspending. This is most important. The use must best generate best return without overspending on acquisition and improvements. So it should be able to get the best rupee return out of the property. So highest and best use, what is its importance? So we will discuss what is its importance. First thing, property specific factor. There are certain factors which are important for property specific. So it is most important property specific factor that an appraiser considers before determining the value. So when you determine the highest and best use, first thing regarding highest and best use is to find out the most important property specific factors. Then vital consideration. It is a vital consideration when examining vacant land or land that has changed unique since the original structure was built. And commercial use, if a house sits on a widened street surrounded by commercial building, that land would be likely more valuable for commercial use. For example, there is a residential building on a wide road uh, on the side of which on all other sides there are commercial buildings. So the highest use for this property will be commercial use, that will be more valuable if it is used for commercial use. So what now we will discuss four tests that are used for determining the highest and best use. First is you have to check whether it is physically possible to change the use. So evaluate whether the land can be used in a certain way considering topography, soil, plot size and weather patterns. So first you check what to which more physical possible use you can put the property to. So then you have to check this, that whether the use is legally permitted. So if the property is, let us suppose the property can be used for commercial, you think whether it is in a commercial zone or not, you think that the property's best use will be commercial. Then you have to check whether the zoning regulations, building codes, etc. allow you to use this land for commercial purpose. So that is the second thing you have to check whether it is legally permitted. Means ensure that the proposed use is allowed by zoning regulations, building codes, and does not violate any restrictions and easements. So once this test is cleared, then you will go to the third one, that is whether it is physically financially feasible, that you conduct market analysis and develop pro forma cash flow estimates to determine if the project meets the investment standards. So that do have to check that it will be physically financially feasible, the use is financially feasible or not. And then you have to check whether it maximally productive. Among the physical options, identify the use that provides the highest value or profit. But of course, all these three things have to be considered where then you have to check the use which will provide highest use considering all the other factors, that will be the highest and best use of the property. So this is called H Habu HBU, highest and best use. So how these tests are carried out? First test is physical possibility. So evaluate land, you assess topographic, soil type and conditions. Then you consider plot, examine the plot size and shape. Then you analyze surface and subsurface water conditions. Then you understand weather patterns in that area. So first test evaluates whether it is physically possible to use the land in a certain way. The topography, soil, type of and condition, plot size and shape, surface and subsurface water, and even weather patterns must make the development possible. Second test is legally permissible. So you have to check whether if it, let us suppose you in the first test you propose that this property should be used as a commercial property. But you have to check whether the zoning laws allow commercial use, so ensure that proposed use is allowed by zoning regulations. Then you have to check where easements adheres to any restrictions imposed by easement on the property. You have to check restrictive covenants. Proposed improvement must not violate any rules and must adheres to building bylaws. Third thing is building codes. You have to check conforming to all applicable building codes and height limits. So this test involves different legal consideration. The proposed use must be allowed by zoning regulations if the building in a residential area with restrictive covenants, the proposed improvement must not violate any rules. Third test is financial feasibility. You have to check market analysis. You conduct a thorough market analysis, then you estimate the future cash flow. So develop pro forma cash flow estimates. Then you convert that future cash flows into present value by discounting cash flows to determine which projects meets the investment standards. So to address whether a proposed use is financially feasible, you need to conduct a market analysis and develop pro forma cash flow estimates. You will need to collect data in order to forecast construction and development expenses, operating expenses, rents, absorption rates, vacancy rates, discount rates, capitalization rate, and residual values. So this is basically you have already done. This is discount cash flow procedures. You have to check first. You have to calculate the future cash flows, and then you have to convert these future cash flows into discounted cash flow to determine its present value and to check whether it is financially feasible or not. And then the last one, maximal productivity. So you rank the uses where value are written. So you determine different uses, then you rank them according to the value or written, then consider risk, assess the risk associated with each use, and adjust discount rates, apply discount rate to commensurate with the risk. So this final tax step takes all the proposed uses that meet these requirements and rank them in order to or of the value and the rate of return. Whether ranking proposed use, it is also helpful to consider risk associated with the proposed use. So this is all about the basic of the highest and best use. Now we will take one example, practical example that will make the things clear. Now we will take one example that will make you to understand how you can determine the highest and best use in real estate, because determining the highest and best use is crucial in real estate valuation and investment. This analysis evaluates potential uses of a property to identify the most profitable and viable option. This presentation will illustrate this concept with a practical example comparing retail and office space conversion to maximize property value. There is a 1920s brick building. The property detail is an old 1920 brick building in a small city's central business area, currently used as a retail space. The area has seen a decline in business and residents. Size of the building is 15,000 square feet. Vacant land value is 1 lakh 50,000, means rupees 10 per square feet. The building's current use as a retail space may no longer be optimal due to changing market conditions. Let us explore the financial implications of the current use and potential alternatives. So current use, by using the current use, we will calculate that its capitalized value. The rental income is rupees 12 rupees per square feet, and vacancies at present vacancy rate is 11% due to low foot traffic. Operating costs are rupees 34,000 per year. So considering the next year's income at a rate of 9% yields an estimated property value of 1,02,222. So this serves as a baseline for comparison against other potential uses. See here the uh, rupees 12 per square feet, 15,000 square feet is the area. So rent potential gross income is 1,80,000. Vacancy rate is 11%, means 19,800. So effective gross income will be 1,80,000 minus 19,800, 1,60,200. Operating expenses are given to you as 34,000 per year. So net operating income is 1,26,200 and we capitalize this value at 9% yield. The value comes out to be 14,02,222. So alternative use, we can use it for office space. We can convert this property into office space. So market demand is there for professional offices, attorney and accountant, etc. So market rent for such properties instead of 12 rupees, it is 21 rupees per square feet and it is increasing by 2% annually. Operating costs are rupees 5 rupees per square feet and these are increasing by 0.25 rupees per year. So converting the property into office space presents a potentially more lucrative alternative. Market research supports the demand for such spaces in the area. So other things are there that in the first year when you have to convert it into office space, you need a cost of it will need a cost of 8,50,000. So because of this, the there will be vacancy of 75%, only 25% of the property can be used during this period. In the second year, vacancy rate will be 20% and in the on the third year onwards, vacancy rate is 5%. So the conversion involves significant upfront cost and temporary vacancy, which must be factored into financial analysis to determining the long-term viability. So see here we will do the calculation. Potential gross income here area is 15,000 and the rent is 21 rupees first in the first year. So the value comes out to be 3,15,000 potential gross income. We can see here it is given that 75% will remain vacant during this period. So we can see amount will be loss due to loss of rent due to vacancy will be 0.75 into 3 lakh 15,000, 2 lakh 36,250. So effective gross income during this period will be 78,500 and operating expenses are given for rupees 5 per square feet and 15,000 square feet is the area. So total operating cost is 75,000 and capital for improvement will be 8 lakh 50,000. So net operating income will be, see here, net operating income will be 8 lakh 46,240. Effective gross income out of which you have to spend these two amounts 9,25,000 approximately. So you deduct this 78,250. So net operating income will be minus 8,46,250. In the first year, there will be loss because you have to spend an amount of 8,50,000 in the first year. In the second year, the rent will be increased by 2%. So 3,15,000 into 1.02. So the rent will be 3,21,300. Vacancy rate will be 20%. So 20% means 64,260. So the effective income will be 2,57,040 and operating expenses are increasing by 0.25 rupees per year. So instead of 5 rupees, it will be 5.25 into 15,000, 78,750. So net income will be 1,78,290. So from the effective income, you deduct the operating costs. The third year again, the value will increase by rent will increase by 2%. So it will be 3,21,300 into 1.02, 3,27,726. So in from third year, it is given that vacancy rate will be 5%. So 5% of 3,27,726 will be 16,386 So effective gross income will be 3,27,726 minus 16,386. It is 3,11,340. And see here, operating expenses are increasing by 0.25 rupees per year. So in the third year, it will be 5.5 into 15,000. So operating expenses will be 82,500 and net operating income will be 3,11,340 minus 82,500. It will be 2,28,840. So similarly, you can find these values for the fourth year, for the fifth year, for the sixth year. So see here, from the fourth, fifth, and sixth year, the value is remains effective net operating income is approximately same 231, 233, 236. So we will take this 6 years income as the base for calculating the of capitalized value. So net operating income is 2,36,646. You multiply it with 100 upon 9 YP perpetual, so value comes out to be 26,29,400. So, but this value will be after 6 years. So you convert this value to present value. You multiply it with present value factor, which is 1 upon 1 point plus raised to 1 raised to power 6 because it is in the sixth year. So the present value comes out to be 14,85,848. So this is the present value. So see here, if it is used for same purpose, the value is 14,22,000 approximately. But after spending an amount of 8,50,000, your value will be 14,85,845. So in this way, see here, you can use it for office space, you can use it for retail space, you can use it for vacant land. And if you use it for vacant land, the property value will be 10 rupees per square feet, 1,50,000. But continuing to use the property for retail spaces yield an estimated value of 1 lakh 14 lakh 2,222. Converting the property into office space, the value will be increased to 14 lakh 85,848. So highest and best use analysis therefore concludes that the best use of the property is as office space. So this is just an example. So by using such examples, you can calculate the highest and best use of a property. So what you should consider, you should remember that you have to check, analyze potential use of the property. So evaluate all possible uses of the property to determine the most profitable option. Then consider market condition, assess current and future market trends to ensure viability, and then take into consideration the factors of cost and risk, account for all expenses and the potential risk associated with each use. By conducting a thorough and highest and best use analysis, investor can make informed decisions to maximize property value and achieve optimal returns. So thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.